Ever wonder why some contractors are drowning in work while others are begging for scraps? The answer isn't better skills or cheaper prices. Imagine you're a plumber with 20 years of experience, the best tools in town, and a reputation for perfect work. But your phone isn't ringing. Meanwhile, the new guy down the street can't keep up with demand. What's his secret weapon? He's not fixing pipes better than you. He's just cracked the code that most contractors never figure out. Here's the thing. Being great at your trade is only half the battle. The other half is making sure people who need you can actually find you. And that's where most contractors fail miserably. So picture this. There's an entire invisible army of people out there right now whose toilets are overflowing, whose air conditioners just died, whose roofs are leaking. They need you desperately, but they have no idea you exist. The old way was waiting for referrals, hoping someone remembers your business card, praying the Yellow Pages ad pays off. That's like fishing with your eyes closed and hoping something bites. Good luck with that strategy. But here's what the smart contractors figured out. Someone else has already done the hard work. There are people whose entire job is finding homeowners with problems and handing their information to you on a silver platter. These are lead generation specialists, and they're the secret weapon behind every contractor who seems impossibly busy. They're running ads, optimizing websites, managing social media, doing all the digital gymnastics that you don't have time for because you're actually, working. The beauty is simple. You pay them for each qualified lead, and they deliver homeowners who are actively looking for your exact service right now. Not next month, not eventually, right now, when their basement is flooding. Think about the math for a second. If you pay $30 for a lead, and that job brings you $500 in profit, you've just bought yourself $470. That's not an expense, that's an investment that prints money. But it gets better. While you're out there fixing someone's furnace, the lead machine keeps running. It's working while you sleep, while you're on vacation, while you're with your family. Traditional marketing is a gamble. You spend thousands on a billboard or a radio spot and cross your fingers that someone remembers you when their water heater explodes. With pay-per-lead, you only pay when someone actually raises their hand and says they need help. The irony is that most contractors resist this because it feels like giving up control. They want to handle everything themselves, the work, the marketing, the scheduling, the accounting. Then they wonder why they're exhausted and broke. Meanwhile, the contractors who embrace the system are scaling like crazy. They're hiring teams, buying new trucks, taking actual vacations. And it all started when they realized that leads are the lifeblood of any service business. Here's the dirty secret the industry doesn't talk about. Expertise doesn't matter if nobody knows you exist. You can be the best electrician in 3 counties, but if customers can't find you, you might as well be invisible. Lead generation flips the entire game. Instead of chasing work, work chases you. Instead of wondering where next month's revenue comes from, you're choosing which jobs to take and which to pass on. Some contractors complain about the cost of leads. They say it eats into their margins. But that's backwards, thinking you can't have margins on jobs you never get. The real cost isn't paying for leads. The real cost is all those empty hours in your schedule, all those trucks sitting idle, all that overhead eating you alive while you wait for the phone to ring. And here's where it gets really interesting. As you close more jobs, you get better at closing. As you serve more customers, you get more referrals. The lead generation becomes a flywheel that accelerates your entire business. Think about it from the customer's perspective. Their problem is urgent. They're stressed. They're Googling frantically. Whoever shows up first in their search results usually wins. That's who they call, that's who gets the job. Lead generation companies live in that digital space, fighting for position, optimizing algorithms, testing headlines. They're playing a completely different game than you are, and honestly, they're probably better at it because it's all they do. The contractors who resist this are the same ones who resisted mobile phones, who thought websites were a fad, who believed nothing would ever replace newspaper ads. They're also the ones slowly going out of business. But the ones who adapt, they're building empires. They're expanding into new service areas, new cities, new markets. And it all flows from one simple decision. Stop trying to find customers yourself and pay someone who's actually good at it. The game has changed. The contractors who win aren't necessarily the best technicians anymore. They're the ones who understand that business growth is a skill as important as knowing how to fix things. So ask yourself, how much is your time worth? Because every hour you spend trying to figure out Facebook ads or Google rankings is an hour you're not billing customers. That's the real calculation. Tomorrow, someone in your service area will need exactly what you offer. The only question is whether they'll find you or your competitor. And whoever's got the better lead generation system wins every single time.